December the 12th, 2022. Got a quick update on some bad weather that's coming in. I'm sure most of you have seen the reports of it. It dumped a lot of snow in the upper elevations in California through that area. Maybe that will help with the drought, but I think it was pretty heavy. At one report I saw last night, 7 inches per hour. So that's a lot of snow. But what we're dealing with now, as this thing moves from the west coast across the U.S., is in the south, where we're looking at now, it's going to be bad weather. North of this is going to be blizzard conditions. So the whole system's going to move. It came in off the Pacific Ocean. It's going to move all the way across the nation. Now, this is a moderate to light chance, but this is tonight. It says torrential downpours, hail, isolated tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, 50 to 60 miles an hour with a storm max of 70. Now, this yellow area, I'm not sure how good you can see it, guys, goes north of Enid, Oklahoma, into Kansas, and down to Dallas, Texas. That includes Wichita Falls. AccuWeather saying that thunderstorms are forecast to develop late in the day on Monday, but the vast majority of the threat is expected to occur after dark and persist throughout the nighttime. These storms will be capable of bringing a wide array of dangerous threats, from hail and damaging wind gusts to isolated tornadoes. So, guys, go ahead and get your weather radios charged up, or whatever you need to do. If you got phones or phone apps for weather, as far as the alerts, make sure that that's on. If not, you can get those at different places. AccuWeather has I think they have a free one in the premium or something like that. I don't use my phone for that type stuff, simply because I don't turn it on to Wi-Fi or the internet. I just use it for phone calls. I don't like that radiation that close to my body. It says residents in the area should be prepared by having a way to get severe weather alerts. The severe weather threat will persist into Tuesday morning and ramp up as the day progresses. Severe thunderstorms will likely become much more widespread on Tuesday and Tuesday night. It's tomorrow. Because of the increased coverage of the storms and the likelihood for destructive storms to occur after dark, the risk to lives and property will increase significantly. Some of the cities in the path of the storm from Tuesday to Tuesday night include Little Rock, Arkansas, Shreveport, Louisiana, here in Jackson, Mississippi, Houston, Texas, and New Orleans. Let's go forward into Tuesday, tomorrow. It says you got flooding, downpours, hail, tornadoes, difficult travel, damaging winds 60 to 70 miles an hour with storm max of 80. Now, notice it's no longer just a yellow area. The orange is an increase in alert all the way up to purple. Red is high, purple is extreme. But it says damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour expected, with an AccuWeather local storm max of 80 miles per hour possible in the strongest storms. Multiple strong tornadoes are possible in this zone, along with large hail and torrential downpours. Guys, it's been much warmer than normal here in central Mississippi for the last few weeks. That's going to change. We're about to get some cooler weather in here, but right now it's 63 degrees on my weather station outside. It's showing high humidity of 99%, and we are completely overcast. Kind of one of those dreary wet days from the rain we've been getting for the last, since the night before last, I think. And these torrential downpours they're talking about, guys, they're saying that motorists along portions of Interstates 10, 20, 30, 49, and 55 should be cautious of ponding on highways and reduce visibility in heavy or gusty downpours. The commuters should be sure to leave extra travel time to reach their destinations. Last week, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago, we had this weather move through here, and they let the schools out early that day, and that's always a good thing, because you don't have all the kids in one place. If that school got hit, it would be very devastating for the entire community. Now, it's going to linger. This is Wednesday and Wednesday evening. Notice the map has changed. It goes from Louisiana over into the Florida Panhandle. Torrential downpours, hail, isolated tornadoes, damaging wind gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour, storm max at 70. Again, you're at the low risk here, but with the warm moisture that's coming off the Gulf of Mexico, this thing could change very quickly, and these alerts could get much higher. So now's the time again to locate your weather radio, get your apps on if you use them, and pay attention to your television going into tonight as far as alerts and tornado warnings, things like that. A new risk will become even more prevalent from the middle of the week as the storm moves toward the east coast. While the risk for more wintry weather blossoms across the northeast, the threat of flooding will spread across the southeast. Same areas, guys, Florida Panhandle into Louisiana, Texas, East Texas. Widespread rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are likely from Arkansas and Louisiana to Georgia and the Carolinas, but it will be possible for some locations to pick up more than 3 inches of rain in just a 48-hour time frame. Local flash flooding, travel disruptions, beneficial for some. They're talking about drought-wise, general 1 to 3 inches, storm max of 6 inches in isolated locations. And if you look closely, guys, on this map, let me pull it up just a little. There are lines that are drawn. They're kind of hard to see with the coloration over it. One is right here, and this indicates going into Tuesday. And then here you've got Wednesday through Thursday in this area right there. This is Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. So it's not moving that fast, but it's going to cover a lot of area. And because it's such a long system, the flash flooding could be a problem. Guys, it looks like we're going to have here in the southeast a cooler week coming up, maybe leading all the way into Christmas. In the past 2 weeks, drought conditions have improved for some of these states, including Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. This is according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. Since much of the south central region has been receiving rain on a more regular basis, in recent weeks the soil has gotten progressively wetter. The saturated ground means that where downpours persist for a longer period of time, the risk of urban and small stream flooding would be significantly higher when compared to recent weeks. Again, the soil is saturated. Some places are still in a moderate drought, so the rainfall could still be welcome in the long run. Guys, I always prefer a little too much than not enough. Behind this cross-country storm, dry and cooler conditions are expected to settle in the southern plains in the southeastern U.S. and last until at least the weekend. So be prepared for that, a little extra heat. And guys, north of where we're looking at, which we're about to do, you better be prepared for power outages and supplemental heat. And last winter we talked about this, and guys, if you look, I know Home Depot carries these. It's the small Mr. Buddy heater, and it runs on the small green propane canisters that you see Walmart and everybody's got them. You get a case full of them, and it just screws in. You click it on, and it's safe for inside. But it's the Mr. Buddy heater. People use them for camping, things like that, but they will work great in your house if you're worried about electricity or natural gas going out, or you don't have enough firewood or whatever. Get you one of those. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't sell them. I don't make any money off of it, but I have one. I think I have two. And they will be broke out if necessary. Of course, you know that I have wood-burning heat, and we have solar panel backup. And all of this has been part of a 10-year plan, guys, saving up the money to do what I needed to do for these times and these winters. Remember last year, the big Texas ice storm? Wood burner heater saved us. All the power was out, and there was ice 2 inches thick on the ground here. I had to chop it off the deck just so you could walk on it without falling down. And quickly, let's look back over the week here in the southeast, starting up into Kansas, guys, through Oklahoma. Monday night, in their lines that they're using, and I'll draw them in. They're hard to see. This is the Monday night area, severe weather. This is Tuesday inside this section from Dallas over to where we're at in Jackson, Mississippi. We're south of there. Here's the Wednesday line, and this is Thursday here. So coming into Thursday, a good part of northern Florida, a lot of Georgia, and look into the Carolinas themselves along the coast there. So we're all going to get a taste of this along the Gulf Coast. Now going into tomorrow, further north, you've got blizzard conditions in the dark blue, snow, icy mix here in the pink, and then the rain and thunderstorms south of there. Notice the low pressure right here in the red L. What that's going to do, With this wind pulling in behind that low pressure system along this front, the blue lines are indicating that's where the tornadoes are going to be popping up. Again, this is Tuesday. AccuWeather forecasters say over a foot of snow, strong winds, and blizzard conditions are expected for many in the northern plains to start this week. Later in the week, the storm will shift east yet again, potentially dumping substantial amounts of snow in the portions of the Midwest. The source of this future snow moved on shore in the Pacific states this past weekend. It's where California got that snow. It brought heavy rain to coastal California and heavy snow to many inland regions of the Intermountain West. Following a typical storm track, the system will shift eastward into the plains late Monday and into Tuesday, according to forecasters. And guys, today there's blizzard warnings already out. You've got them, and they're in effect for parts of 5 states today, specifically western Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, western South Dakota, southeastern Montana, and eastern Wyoming. The National Weather Service has issued winter storm warnings for a large part of the northern plains, while winter storm watches extend into parts of the upper Midwest. A potent area of low pressure is set to form over Colorado and Kansas today. It will pull the moist air northward from the Gulf of Mexico, combining it with bitterly cold air from the polar regions in Canada. With the two put together, a major snowstorm is in the cards from Colorado to Minnesota into midweek. Now, this is the snow starting tonight, Monday night, through Wednesday, and it moves pretty fast because of that low pressure spinning there. But notice this Monday area covers much of the Rockies all the way down into New Mexico and Arizona. The arrival times are listed on these lines. 9 p.m. tonight, Monday, snow will be approaching Rapid City. Then throughout the night through 3 a.m. in the morning, Bismarck, you'll get it all the way down into Kansas. In Colorado. You've got 3 p.m. Tuesday here, 9 a.m. Tuesday coming in, and it just spreads across 3 a.m. Wednesday here, 9 p.m. Tuesday, 9 a.m. Wednesday, and the lines are bent. Now this is going to, when this gets into the Great Lakes, guys, the amount of snow usually changes dramatically because of the lake wind effect. Now, besides the tornadoes in the south, I think this is going to be the most dangerous part of the storm, and these are ice conditions. The pink is some buildup, and the darker pink or purple from Aberdeen down to Sioux Falls, up from Fargo, that's significant. It says untreated roads will be hazardous, buildup on trees and power lines, power outages. AccuWeather local storm max of 3/4 of an inch in southwestern Minnesota. Now, again, when you get over along the Great Lakes, a lot of this can change. It says across much of central and southern Minnesota, a heavy glaze of ice may be more impactful than the snow, noting that 1/10 of an inch of ice can be more hazardous than several inches of snow. Guys, this is through Thursday night. From tonight through Thursday, it says AccuWeather local storm max up to 40 inches. 18 to 24 in the dark blue, 12 to 18 as its shades get lighter going out towards Minneapolis and Milwaukee. But again, remember the lake affects snow, how that can really pile things up on you. And you can't forget the Atlantic Ocean, as this low pressure that we're seeing moves across the nation, comes offshore here. All of this is going to start keep circulating, and it's going to pull a lot more snow into these cold areas. They're looking at 6 inches plus in the dark areas there in Burlington and Buffalo, and you're going to have to watch for gale winds and different things like that offshore, because that's going to be a problem. Higher tides. But the counterclockwise circulation is the same as a hurricane. The winds will do the same thing. And that cold blowing ice and snow can be very bitter. Now, looking at Friday, you can see that looking down from the Detroit area through Columbus and Charleston, that blue area is where the cold has set in, and that's going to be all the way to the Gulf Coast. Of course, it'll be colder there. Then you Buffalo to Burlington, you're in snow. Pittsburgh up to Portland, you're in the ice conditions. New York, Boston, along the coast there, you're in rain, but very windy with that low pressure setting offshore. And it's going to move north. So you're going to have a couple days of having to deal with this. Again, snow, snow showers, rain and snow, ice, and rain with heavy cold wind. And I'm going to end it here, but again, let's look at the Atlantic Ocean. This is Thursday night into Friday night. 3 to 6 hour period of strong onshore winds, minor coastal flooding, and beach erosion. And guys, it's been a pretty rough year along the East Coast in some sections because a lot of the storms have turned north without hitting the mainland. But again, coastal flooding, beach erosion, 3 to 6 hour period of strong onshore winds. The timing will be critical, and you might want to look at your local tide gauges to see Thursday night into Friday night when will be the high tides, because that's going to cause these winds offshore to push more water into the low-lying areas, just like in a tropical system. But it's cold, not warm. Guys, so this is what we're dealing with for the week. We're going to be watching it. The tornadoes are more than likely going to start this afternoon over into West Texas and into Oklahoma. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.